And welcome back, everyone. Welcome to another day. Welcome to the grand finals, the semifinals, and then the finals of the Alpha X Ascension League Season 1 Code S. I'm, of course, your host, Light VIP. This time, I'm not joined by Yaku of the Zaku. This time, I'm joined by Asher of the Bro.
Of the Bro. Let's go. Light of the VIP. What's going on?
It's your last name, right? You're the AsherBro. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Papi. It's been years.
It's been so long. I am old now and decrepit.
I missed you, Papi. I missed
I can't even remember what StarCraft is. I think it's that game where the bugs kill everything.
That's not true anymore, Papi. That's smudge. Oh my god. But yes, for those that are just tuning in, and I should probably turn on these lovely cameras. But yes, for those who are wondering, this is the EU Ascension League, and this is very similar to NA Apprentice Cup, if anyone used to follow us when we casted that on a regular basis. So this is a restricted tournament to players from the European region, and if you place too highly in DreamHack, you are ineligible. So this is kind of a way to support the mid-tier players, kind of trying to make a name for themselves, trying to kind of leave their stamp or leave their mark on the scene.
Yeah, like grubby fingerprints. Peanut butter on them.
or Vegemite. Oh.
Or Vegemite, yeah. I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to think about it.
Shaking my head, Papi, shaking my head. Oh my god. But yeah, I did want to like quickly go over the event itself, you know, just because it has been kind of a long tournament. We didn't cast the group stage, if you're wondering. The group stage was played without us. You know, it was casted by Miguel, one of the lovely admins over at Alpha X. But we have been fortunate enough to cast the playoffs, and last week with Yaku, I did cast the quarterfinals.
Ooh. Looks like the Milky Cow vs NightPhoenix series would have been pretty good.
It was chaotic.
Yeah, Milky Cow plays crazy.
Mate, it was insane. He went proxy ghost.
Proxy everything. Yeah. That's how he plays. Yeah.
Mate, it was a clown fiesta, Papi. It was a
beautiful
fiesta. There were base trades, but base trades where each player had like 5 units. Like
Yeah. I think I remember. I feel like it was Milky Cow and Strange in the EU qualifiers had the most insane base trade game where they started off both proxying and the game went for like half an hour.
Oh my god.
I feel like he just always gets into games like that.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, he gets dirty and he makes his opponent get dirty as well. You know,
he's a mud wrestler.
He is. He gets them in the rear naked chokehold and then both of them get into the mud, and it's beautiful. Oh. Oh my god. So yeah, we had some pretty intense series last week. We can see, you know, some of them even going all the way to the ace match, but you know, similarly to big events that have been happening recently, Kappa, no Zerg players unfortunately here in the semi-finals, but we have amazing players nonetheless. Some relatively big names that we have seen kind of rising up over the past couple of months or even year.
Wait, 2 Zerg players signed up. Relax, okay?
You're like, mate, they're all too good. They're not eligible, Papi.
They're not eligible by default. They're like, no. This is not for Zergs, this tournament.
Smurge, Papi, smurge. Oh god. But yeah, some really big names, especially names that we have been casting, you know, even in Sparkling Tuna Cup last year. You know, AqueroN has been popping off recently. NightPhoenix as well has been, you know, streaming a lot and doing quite well.
Yeah, I recognize a lot of these names, especially Art as well. Excited to cast Art again. It's been a little while.
Yeah,
the Polish Protoss.
The Polish Protoss posse, Papi. The purple people eaters. Let's go.
Is that him?
Yeah.
I think that was him.
Yeah.
What an animal.
Oh my god. And of course Spats as well. Spats, I think it is maybe like he has a bit of a lower profile, but nonetheless, you know, I'm really looking forward to see if he can make a deep run as well. I think he's overshadowed a little bit by Art and AqueroN. I think they're kind of bigger names. But it would be really sick if he makes it through, especially because, mate, it's a PvP that's happening later on. Like it's gonna be crazy.
It's gonna be crazy. PvP in an EU tournament. I can't believe it, lad. I can't believe it.
Oh. No smudging, Papi. No smudging.
Let's go.
Let's go. Oh my god. So yes, here today we crown a champion for Code S. And I emphasize Code S because Code A is ongoing as well, and I believe next week we are going to be we're going to be dipping our toes into some Code A as well. So, yeah. Personally, it's nice because for a long time we haven't really casted too many European-centric tournaments, and, you know, we got to give them a little bit of love. You know, they're clearly, you know, neglected.
Ooh. We're having a tricky pick at the Code A lineup.
Yeah.
Eba.
Eva's there. I think Nickracked is there as well. So yeah, pretty solid players in their own right.
I got so confused. That's Russian art. There's two arts.
Yeah. Yes. Two arts. I believe the Russian art is all capital letters. So
yes,
you can tell them apart. But they are both Protoss, so it makes things a little bit confusing.
He's an extrovert.
He's loud and proud. But with that, we are getting ready to dive into our first series of the night. We are going to be featuring our one and only Terran.
Yeah, and it's a Terran that I'm pretty excited to see. AqueroN's a Terran that I'm reasonably familiar with just because he's got some crazy builds, and I like to steal them. I'm always keeping an eye out.
Oh, you just reminded me. So last week when we casted AqueroN against Arogfire, I don't think AqueroN let Arogfire get up to 3 bases.
Yeah.
It was non-stop, like 2 base all-ins, pulling the boys half the time, hyper aggression out of AqueroN. And because
my kind of Terran.
Yeah. he's an animal, Puffy. So I worry a little bit here for NightPhoenix. I'm a big fan of both of these players. But yeah, AqueroN was terrifying last week. Terrifying.
Beautiful. Yeah. I mean, the replay I remember of him, he was playing against, I think he took a game off Lambo. He went 2 BCs into a 2 base all in.
Oh my god.
Like an animal. I think I remember after I saw that one, I was like, Papi, we need to play customs. I need to show you a build. And you're like, is there going to be BCs? And I was like, never mind. I don't need to play customs.
You know how it's going to end, Papi. They're just going to show up. You don't even need the 2 base all in behind
died of the BCs and like, but look at my 2 base all in.
I'm already dead.
You're already gone.
I'm already dead.
Puff of dust.
Feels bad, man. Feels bad. But here we go. You can hear the beeps. We are loading into our first series of the night.
Yes, and the first game going to be on Grass Fun. Really excited to be casting on the new maps once again. I think this is probably... I feel like after this cast, they won't feel new again. This is the last cast for me that they're going to feel new.
Smooch. They don't have to,
good.
Puppy.
It's good.
Okay.
It's still fresh. As Saborning here, in the bottom right-hand corner of the map. He is in the green, playing for the Platinum Heroes. This is AqueroN.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Gresvan, we have his opponents, the Ukrainian Protoss player representing Hot-Headed Gaming. It is NightPhoenix.
I haven't got my zoom, Papi.
I need to teach you how to zoom, mate. Look, I didn't want to
zoom.
I didn't want to bring it up, but the observing during the Chappie Azure show match.
Wait, really?
Where were the zooms, Poppy?
Oh, I forgot about the zooms.
there
I was
was-
kind of too busy like laughing at how terrible
Chappie.
everything was. But
Laughing
no,
at
it's
Chappie. Oh.
Shift Z and then delete and insert.
Oh.
Do the sweepy swoops.
Yeah. The swooshes.
Whew.
As soon as you said that, by the way, I swooshed into the NG bay.
Yeah, of course. The NG bay. Oh, okay. We do have an NG bay block.
Yeah, we got an eBay block coming out here from AqueroN. Some decent kind of progress on it, and yeah, he is going to be forcing the unnatural natural out of NightPhoenix. I still feel so bad whenever this happens. Should I stop? Like, is this going to be the norm? I feel like it's been becoming a little bit more popular recently.
Wait, what are you saying?
The unnatural natural Frodos.
Oh.
In
It's
PvP.
nice. Yeah, it's good. It's nice.
Okay.
They deserve it, Poppy.
it's okay, Puppy. They like it. They like it.
They just do it to Zerg players because they think that Zerg players like it. Hey, why are there 2 probes here? What happened?
Mate, because this is the 3rd SCV, by the way, that he has denied. Like, NightPhoenix out here with double workers. Oh my god, he's DPSing down the SCVs. He's not getting any kills, but look at the delay. Jesus.
Yeah, this is really... I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. So he's using 2 probes to buy time for this Zealot to come. And I mean, I think I was going to bring up the Zealot is a little bit weird. Usually if you're going to take the unnatural natural, you don't make the Zealot. The Zealot's just for if you clear up a low health eBay. But it looks like he's going to try to delay the Terran player. This is a very interesting response.
This is crazy. I mean, if you look at the main base, you can see how many SCVs are almost dead. We have an Adept showing up as well. The Zelda's finally going to be going down, but because of the Adept, the CC is not going to finish.
Yeah, this is a huge delay, and I mean, the CC is already a little bit delayed from going eBay block, so this is a really intelligent way to go about it. I mean, AqueroN here, he was hoping to get 2 of these Reapers across the map into that bunker, and he's kind of been stopped here, but there we go. We're actually going up to 4 Reapers for AqueroN, so both of these players going for plays that I have honestly never seen before, so nice to see some creativity coming out as well.
Definitely, and despite those 4 Reapers coming out, 2 Adepts do meet them. One of the Reapers already ended up falling, and as a result, AqueroN, he has 2 Reapers remaining, and he can try and get into this bunker, but I'm sure he's more concerned with getting up his CC, which is not going to happen. Another SCV goes down.
Yeah, AqueroN going 3x behind this as well, but still waiting for his add-on, so it's going to take him a long time to get up the kind of marine count that he needs to be able to deal with his Adepts, especially if NightPhoenix is going to keep sending units across the map, and NightPhoenix actually going for a Void Ray. This is very unusual, but makes sense to clear up the bunker here.
Yeah, he is adapting here on the fly. Unfortunately, he won't be able to really harass, but you could argue that he doesn't need the Oracle right now. Like, his opponent is on 1 base economy. You know, the damage has already been done, so I agree, very smart decision. Meanwhile, he shades up into the main base, doesn't get in, but he does scat the additional racks.
Yeah, there we go. So he's going to see at least one of those additional racks. I don't think he sees the second one at the back there, but he should have enough information to have some vague idea of what's going on here. Behind this, he's going up to 3 gates and a robo, so he has a setup where he could be continuing to be aggressive here.
Yeah, I was about to say, mate, he's going like 1 base all in as well. Let's go. But then I'm like, oh no, yeah, I guess he does have a natural. Finally, he is going to be able to saturate it and get some workers up and running. Meanwhile, here in the middle of the map, the Reapers are being cleaned up, being forced back, and this game is getting crazy. NightPhoenix actually prioritizing his Prism.
Yeah, he's going to be prioritizing that. Unfortunately, NightPhoenix quite heavily supply blocked right now, so he's just going to be waiting for these first few pylons before he can get that first warp in. I do feel like that's really going to hurt him here. This would have hit a lot harder if he had that next warp in ready to go, but as it is, we still do have a lot of units. We've got those sentries on a decent amount of energy as well, and this Void Ray is going to have to be focused down quite quickly, or it's going to deal with the Marauders.
Exactly. Can he hit before Stim? Stim finishes up in 7 seconds, but before that happens, we have the overcharge. A lot of these Marines are going to be going down, but Stim is done. Up.
Yeah, Stim is done. The Marauders are almost going to be going down. Do we have a Stim from AqueroN?
He doesn't know, Poppy. He doesn't know.
He doesn't want to. He doesn't like it.
He doesn't like it, Poppy, as we have another warp, and the Stalker's going to move on forward here. Half of the Marine count went down. The Marauder count was reset, but we have 2 Marauders being built at a time. Before that happens, NightPhoenix is looking to bust down the natural.
Yeah, looks like AqueroN is going to be waiting for those next two Marauders, but no, he's going to pull SCVs, try to make it happen here. This Prism here has a lot of micro potential, so all of these low-health Stalkers being dragged back, but they are starting to go down now to the Stim Marines.
Oh, the Prism! Oh my god, the Prism is barely not going to go down. What?
Yeah, some beautiful micro coming out from NightPhoenix, just getting the absolute most out of that he can out of every unit. But at the same time, I think I would have liked it a little bit better if he just got out of there with his 6 or 7 low Stalkers. As it is, though, that was quite impressive.
That was crazy. He's going for another round of Warpins here. Adepts to slip into the main base. Unfortunately, AqueroN doesn't have vision here in his main. He doesn't know. He is kind of maneuvering a couple of Marines in this direction, but they are already softened up. Behind this, NightPhoenix is saturating his base, and he's already got a Bay on the way.
Yeah, there we go. So there's 3 Adepts going to be at one-shotting these units. And yeah, behind this, we do see AqueroN going to be throwing down 2 more racks. So he is going all in off this. Not sure if he's even going to be going for a starport here. Yeah, I guess he'll go to the starport after the factory. But this is very, very committed from him. And for NightPhoenix, all he really has to do here is get up a good amount of splash. We already see that first Colossus coming out, but he's quite heavily supply blocked again. Feels like a little bit of nerves from NightPhoenix in this game.
Oh my god, yeah, that's such a shame. I mean, at least the Colossus does now begin, and this may be good enough, but I don't blame NightPhoenix. Like, this is a pretty high-intense situation. He was kind of looking good here against AqueroN, and I believe looking at his vision, he has scattered. He saw the factory. He hasn't seen the additional Raxes, though.
Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty unusual play to come out of the 3 racks. Very heavily committed from AqueroN. Is going to be switching over to get those first 2 medevacs here, so it's going to be a very heavily committed timing. And for NightPhoenix, I think the name of the game here is just getting that second Colossus out. He should be okay if he can have that ready for the push.
Yeah, and he should be able to get it out in time, but will he have enough to support it? That's the question. I mean, he already has 2 shield batteries at his 3rd base. The natural is looking a little bit more exposed and a little bit more vulnerable, so we'll see what kind of angle AqueroN decides to go for. We'll see when he pulls the trigger here, because I don't really think he intends for the game to go on much longer. He could even pull the boys.
Yeah, I think he's definitely going to pull the boys. And with this push as well, I think it is it's a little unfortunate as well for NightPhoenix that he lost his sentries with that initial push. If he was able to blink the Stalkers out, pick up the sentries in that War Prism and get out of there before he lost so much, I think this would be even easier for him. But as it is, I mean, look at the supply of AqueroN. It's not looking too scary here. We do have a big double drop going into the main, so if he does time this out well, this could be quite hard for NightPhoenix to deal with just a Colossus.
Definitely. I mean, the main base is pretty defenseless for NightPhoenix. He has his Colossi at the 3rd. He's got a couple of Stalkers as well, but the drop is slipping on in, and this can wreak a lot of havoc. At the same time, the main army of AqueroN is pushing through the center of the map. This is seen by NightPhoenix, but this could just be a big distraction as he's coming in.
Ooh. Yeah, NightPhoenix only just spots that drop in the main just now, and looks like, charge is going to be denied right before it can finish up. That is a huge snipe, and going after the probes now as well.
Even a little bit of miscontrol there. NightPhoenix attacking his own Nexus as well. AqueroN, he gets out at the same time the main army is coming on forward. NightPhoenix did pre-split his army, but the shield batteries have gone down. There is no overcharge.
Yeah, AqueroN there, so assertive, jumps straight in there, takes out the first 2 shield batteries before NightPhoenix can even react, and gets that Phoenix down as well. All of his bio pretty heavily bruised here. Wouldn't mind seeing him pick up and get out just to let it heal up a bit, not lose too much to the Colossus, but he does have that drop in the main ready to go once again as well, and just rallying across the map now.
Yeah, exactly. The final Colossus, or the Colossus at that 3rd base, does end up going down here. Still no shield batteries. We're trying to warp in, but again, there is no charge, so these Zealots aren't really doing much of anything. The boys are being pulled. Yeah,
Colossus needs to be brought to the low ground, but GG is called AqueroN with a sharp timing. Brings this one back.
Oh, GG. That was quite a game. Even popping off at the start with NightPhoenix coming out with 2 aggressive probes and a Zealot, that almost never happens, or that just doesn't happen, period. But it was really working out for him. It was really paying off.
Yeah, that was very strange, but very effective as well. So that's pretty cool to watch. Cool to see when players have their their own takes on responses.
Definitely, definitely. And kind of similarly to what we were talking about earlier, you know, NightPhoenix, he was kind of getting dirty. He was kind of getting in there in the mud, and AqueroN joined him, Papi.
he likes it in the mud.
He likes it, Papi. Oh my god. So GG, well played. AqueroN takes the first game, but as a reminder, now that we're in the semifinals, these are all best of 5s. Of course, a best of 7 in the grand final, so plenty of games ahead of us.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, a best of 5 between these two players, the way that they're playing so far, might not be the longest series anyway, but we'll see if we can go the distance.
Look, it's going to be an entertaining series, and that is what matters.
Speaking of entertaining, here in the top left-hand corner of the map, making the comeback in the first game, it is our turn in the green, playing for the Platinum Heroes and hailing out of Spain. This is AqueroN.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Babylon, we have his opponent, the Ukrainian Protoss player representing Hot-Headed Gaming. It is NightPhoenix. Oh boy.
It's gonna proxy puppy. Oh, I love this build.
Oh, the
fake proxy.
The pseudo proxy, Papi. Let's go. So yeah, more designed to kind of trick your opponent, you know, strike a little bit of fear into them. And AqueroN, I feel like he has, of course, an aggressive reputation, so I love that he's slipping this into a best of series.
Yeah, I think this is a really good build to have in your repertoire if you are playing proxy racks builds, especially. Just kind of keeps your opponent in the dark, might make them play a little bit more greedy against your proxy racks, and could also be forcing a zealot out when you're not playing proxy racks, so or not playing the full proxy racks. It does just give you a lot of options, keeps your build really well hidden as well.
Definitely. And NightPhoenix is going to be in the dark. He's going to be patrolling the probe in the main base, though, so it looks like he hasn't taken the bait. He's assuming that AqueroN isn't going to be committing to any proxy, and as we see, you know, an SCV is being pulled here because AqueroN wants to throw down more of that production. So yeah, interesting kind of dynamic that we're seeing here. Yeah,
NightPhoenix actually here going... I'm just checking his vision to see if he's seen the racks. He hasn't seen the racks. He went Nexus before Core. That is crazy against a proxy racks. I mean, if this was actually a proxy racks on his side of the map, I think we'd be seeing 4, maybe even 5 probes go down.
Yeah. It's one of those, oh my god, as the probe almost gets an SCV there as well. It's one of those things where I'm curious, NightPhoenix, is he just really familiar with AqueroN, and he was able to deduce that this was something that he was going to whip out, or is he crazy? And he just straight up gambled and had no idea.
He even skips the zealot here, and yeah, this is going to be very awkward for AqueroN. Looks like he's just going to go for a pretty standard mine drop transition out of this. NightPhoenix using that pylon to block the add-on. It's just going to help as well scout what comes out of the factory.
Yeah, should be able to spot whether it's a Hellion or a Widow Mine coming out. Even spots the racks as it floats back into the main base. So if NightPhoenix didn't know before, he 100% knows now. As we do have that CC on at the high ground, no any kind of crazy one-base shenanigans yet in this series.
Yeah, looks like NightPhoenix is able to work it out from the Reaper timing there, even skipping the Zealot, but we just gotta wait to see what's going to be coming out for AqueroN. I really like this as well. Actually going for a second racks behind and rallying those mines back into his base, so he's making it look like he's going for a mine drop, but it seems like he's instead going to be going for a 2-base aggression.
Yeah. Again, because NightPhoenix, he just can't quite see that second racks yet. He's trying desperately to, but for the time being, he is in the dark. We see him trying to bait out that Widow Mine, but the Widow Mine shot still hasn't gone off. And NightPhoenix is actually following this up with Phoenixes.
Yeah, so Phoenix definitely makes a lot of sense here. And okay, no, I thought he dodged that, but I think it was just 2 adepts. So yeah, the Phoenix makes a lot of sense here, seeing as he has that pylon there and he's spotted out that there is a mine coming. If this was a mine drop, the Phoenix is the perfect response. So I'm feeling like these two players have played each other on ladder a lot because there's a lot of weird meta stuff going on here.
Definitely. We're getting some proper meta gaming going on, and NightPhoenix. We'll see how hard he commits to these Phoenixes. Again, you know, he loves them. You know, they're a part of his name, and he has seen those Widow Mines, but at the same time, he's also seen the add-on swap. He's seen an abundance of Marines. He's still a little bit in the dark. We'll see as he is making a third Phoenix behind this.
Yes, it looks like he continued commitment into Phoenix, and this is really nice for AqueroN. It feels like he's read this very well, despite not actually seeing the Phoenix, I don't believe. I'm just going to quickly check his vision. Yeah, he didn't even see the starport, so this is a very sharp read coming out from him, and the fast stim is going to be so strong against this kind of player.
Yeah, it really is. And before that even happens, 2 Reapers slip into the main base, 4 probes go down. NightPhoenix already struggling to deal with some of the aggression. He did send a couple of Phoenixes across the map, but they were swatted away here by the units of AqueroN, and yeah, he still hasn't really seen too much, but because there hasn't been a single Widowmine drop, for the time being, he should recognize that he needs to switch up his tech, and there it is, Robotics Bay is thrown down.
Yeah, Robotics Bay on the way. For AqueroN, feels like he's playing a bit more of a standard game as well. He's going to be going pretty early into tanks, into Marauders as well, so seems like he has a decent read that that he maybe will be going up against a Robo player. So I guess it feels like the players know each other's tendencies really well here.
Exactly. That's what was really smart about what AqueroN was doing earlier. It was less about him scouting and more he was forcing a reaction. He was guessing what NightPhoenix was going to be doing. Meanwhile, oh my god, another Widowmine shot going off on these Phoenixes. One of them going down, the rest of them very bruised.
Yeah, good connections here for AqueroN, and that's going to help him a lot. Having those Phoenix wounded makes it that much harder to catch things moving out on the map and keep that vision and pressure, pick off tanks, anything like that.
Yeah, and on top of that, he's even forcing more Phoenixes to replace the ones that have been lost already. So, and again, this isn't really where we want to be spending our money. They have some value, you know, they're going to be able to CC and pick off some of these tanks, but what about the support for the Colossi? What about all these Marines?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, pretty much just Colossus and a handful of Gateway units going to be on the other side of this for AqueroN, and that is where things start to get a little bit scary. He's already gone quite early into Marauders as well, so we do have 3 Marauders coming across the map with this push. It is just a pretty solid timing overall. One of those Phoenix going down already. He is going to be stimming those front units.
Oh god, that he is. I mean, at least NightPhoenix does get eyes on this bush as it moves out across the map. He's got a shield battery, only one. He has 1 Colossi as well, but I don't know if he's gonna have enough to stop this.
Yeah, this is definitely where things get a little bit scary. We are going to see shield battery overcharge is committed. The tank's trying to focus down the Colossus, but looks like they're not going to be able to do that underneath the shield battery. There's just so much here for AqueroN though, and all the Phoenix going down for NightPhoenix.
Oh my god, exactly. Despite the shield battery, despite the overcharge, AqueroN, he stims on forward and he out DPSs all of those heals. The third base goes down, and NightPhoenix, he has to give it up. Can he hold on to even the natural? He does have 2 Colossi now, but he did lose all of his Phoenixes.
Yeah, and behind this, AqueroN continuing to rally Marauders, Marines, Vikings across the map, going very early into Vikings. Seems like he recognizes here that the majority of NightPhoenix's strength of his army is in those Colossus, and if he can take out what lies on the ground, he can take those out easily as well. GG is called, and another quick game out of AqueroN.
Wow, GG, well played. I'm getting some AqueroN versus Arrowfire flashbacks. Where AqueroN, he hits a very crisp timing off 2 bases with tanks, with Marines. Sometimes he pulls the boys, sometimes he doesn't even need to. And because the timings are so crisp, the Protoss players are struggling against it. And to be fair, NightPhoenix, he was just kind of stumbling his way into that like early to mid game, you know, losing a lot of Phoenixes early on and being in the dark as to what AqueroN was doing.
Yeah, there were some well-placed mines there by AqueroN, and sometimes in TvP, it can just come down to these little early game interactions where losing a Phoenix here and there, losing an Adept for free here and there, it can start to snowball to the point that first timing becomes extremely difficult to hold.
Yeah, I can empathize. Oh my god. So yeah, NightPhoenix is up against the ropes right now. He is down 0-2, one more loss, and his tournament run is already over. He needs our energy, he needs our strength. I just want some more games because they've been quick.
Hey, these are my kind of TvPs. This is what I try to do on the ladder. Just roll over them in 8 minutes.
You're an animal. Oh god. Can we force the mid game? Can we force the late game? We're gonna find out as we're loading into Dragon Scales.
And here we go. 2-0 up in this series and playing for the Platinum Heroes. This is the Spanish Terran in the green, AqueroN.
And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Dragon Scales, we have his opponent, the Ukrainian Protoss player representing Hot Headed Gaming. It is NightPhoenix.
Oh, and here we go. This is exactly what I would do as well if I had faced that reaction in that last game. I mean, seeing that NightPhoenix didn't really scout that properly and he was that greedy, I mean, Proxy Rax feels pretty free, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. As you were saying last game, NightPhoenix, he went for an expansion before Cybercore. He skipped out on his Zealot as well, and he wasn't too adept at scouting with his probe to look for any proxies. But bearing in mind that NightPhoenix is going for a probe scout, he's going to see a very similar opener to last game. And because this is back-to-back, NightPhoenix, he could deduce that the proxy is real.
Yeah, he definitely could put this together. I mean, yeah, it looks like he is going in position to go to Cybercore first.
Wait, he just knows. He's crazy. Oh my god, yeah.
Oh my goodness, he's even going to play 2-gate.
Yeah, a second gateway gets thrown down. We have a Zealot as well. I mean, AqueroN is more than willing to commit to a proxy, but for the time being, we only see a single Rax across the map, and NightPhoenix is being as annoying as possible, pylon blocking once again.
I would be losing my mind if I was playing this on ladder and this happened. So greedy the first time and such a massive reaction, arguably an overreaction in the second game, and looks like NightPhoenix this game wants to punish it with some aggression of his own. This pilot is really well placed. If NightPhoenix follows this up with Adepts, and there we go, we do see the Adepts already, he can just shade straight on through. It's really difficult to block here.
Yeah, exactly. At the same time, I don't know if you saw NightPhoenix, he's trying to get down the gateway, he's trying to throw it down, but he gets denied by the SCV, unintentionally, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, he doesn't even have to try.
I think AqueroN is trying to full wall this off. I don't believe we're fully walled yet, but ooh, we're gonna have a battery. That's very interesting.
Yeah, shield battery gets thrown down. Can a Zealot slip through all of this? It looks like, oh my god, there we go. The full wall is now up and running, but maybe a little bit too late. Maybe AqueroN just didn't realize that there was a hole in the wall until the Zealot was here.
Oh, unfortunately, the focus fire on the Zealot a little bit off there. It did try to take some swipes on the other depot here, and we don't really have the surface area to deal with this. We're gonna try to go for the mine trick. That would be really cool.
Oh, the unburrow!
It's too good, puppy.
He's too good. He unburrows in time. It looks like AqueroN is gonna hold for now. We're gonna try and see another bit of an adept micro trick here as he does dip in. Oh, ooh.
There we go, does get the dodge. Going to be eating that second one with the Zealot here. The door is open on the right side there. There we go. So NightPhoenix, it does feel like he's got a good amount of momentum in this game. It's going to be very difficult to hold with these 3 Adepts coming on here.
Yeah, exactly. 2 more Adepts come to reinforce. The Reaper is going to be going down. The Widowmines, they still need a little bit more time to reset their shots, and a lot of workers are going to be going down.
Yeah, these Adepts very good at taking out those workers, especially if the 3 are focus fired each on workers. Behind this, we do see AqueroN going to be going for a little bit of a marauder push of his own. He actually made a tech lab on that proxy Rax there, and he's going to be trying to dive straight on top of this shield battery, but NightPhoenix very well prepared. Good SimCity, good battery too. Oh
yeah, but this battery is going to be going down. Those marauders across the map, they're looking to depower the robo. We have a warp in. We actually have a recall back home.
Yeah, definitely got a recall there. Going to be pulling those probes as well. Looks like NightPhoenix actually in a really dangerous situation. I mean, this Stalker, it shouldn't be too hard to track down with those Marauders. One of those unfortunately getting caught out there, but here we go. This is AqueroN's time to equalize that damage.
Oh, it is time, but you know what? The Marauder is finally out. It looks like NightPhoenix has bought enough time to hold on. Meanwhile, across the map, the Adepts have been cleaned up, and after all said and done, the worker counts are they're similar. They're pretty equal.
Yeah, pretty wild that AqueroN manages to come out of this one almost even, because that was looking very scary for him for a moment.
Oh yeah, that was looking terrifying. Meanwhile, that proxy Rax has been lifted up, is making its way back home, and things are maybe going to settle. I say maybe because NightPhoenix is committing and he's working on a prism to rush across the map.
Yeah, I like this. Maybe just recognizing as well that the supply of AqueroN can't be too high at this time, but we do have a bunker coming down for AqueroN, going to be protecting that factory tech lab here.
Yeah, we have that bunker. We've got a Cyclone as well, so the Prism has to be very careful with how it maneuvers. Right now, there's no Rax production, though, so there's actually nothing to fill up that bunker. There's nothing to protect. AqueroN, he only has 2 units. He has a tank and a Cyclone.
Yeah, this is pretty scary. I mean, he's got the second Cyclone, the Viking coming out. This is going to rely quite heavily on the micro, on his ability to snipe the Prism.
Oh, pretty much. Meanwhile, one Widowmine shot goes off, a Stalker goes down, and every unit counts right now. The tank is going to be able to get a massive volley up on those sentries, and the Prism is being forced back.
Yeah, NightPhoenix needs to be really careful here not to lose that Prism.
God, exactly. He loses the Prism. That may just be the entire game, as he is actually throwing down a Nexus behind this. It looks like he is content to deny the natural and contain his opponents and not so much break into the main.
Yeah, meanwhile for AqueroN, only just throwing down his second CC now as well, just recognizing that there's a good amount of pressure coming out from NightPhoenix. It's very heavily committed and he can be a bit more safe here.
I also worry a little bit for NightPhoenix. I think he needs to leave sooner rather than later. Like, this unit count for AqueroN is actually getting dangerously high. Across the map, we had a little bit of Viking harass, and there we go. We have a recall back home.
Yeah, so going to be recalling the Immortal. Interesting. Okay, I feel like we can't really be out on the map anymore if we're going to send our Immortal back home.
Yeah. We see the Cyclone's trying to hunt down this Prism as well already. Decent amount of shots going off here, but NightPhoenix, some decent control, is going to be able to fight back.
Yeah, NightPhoenix maybe just being a little bit greedy here, trying to take out those Cyclones with the Immortal, but not quite able to do so.
Oh, the Viking comes into flank and the Prism goes down.
Brutal. I don't even know if that was intentional or if the Viking was just coming home, but down it goes the Prism, and with that, AqueroN should be able to take his low ground very comfortably.
Yeah, exactly, and he still has a pretty terrifying army as well. Back at home, we don't really have too much to defend. I mean, we have some Immortals and some Sentries, to be fair. We can force field, we can make do with what little units we have. And it looks like AqueroN is just going to be chilling here for now, but he's now got his 3rd tank out.
Oh yeah, and behind this AqueroN with that trademark aggression, throwing down 3 more racks, going straight up to 5 racks. This man does not build a 3rd CCs.
It's like
he hates them.
He unbinds it. As soon as he makes the 2nd CC, it's gone. Oh my god, and that's what's terrifying about him, because he's got so much practice, so much experience with this two-base TvP style. To be fair, NightPhoenix does have an observer over the army. He sees what could potentially be coming. As soon as it does move out, he will get eyes on it. But even if he sees it, can he stop it?
Yeah, I mean, this play coming out from AqueroN, very nicely flowcharted. Looks like he has a lot of different ways and angles to deal with different things that are thrown at him, and always good to be an adaptive player with a unique style. It can be very difficult to play against.
Definitely. This is kind of his playing ground here. This is his stomping ground. This is what he knows. This is who he is. But before that happens, we see a bit of a skirmish out here. NightPhoenix is trying to get a 3rd base up and running. We have a Bay on the way. We have Charge as well. Is Charge actually going to be able to finish this time? We'll see, as AqueroN is unlikely to move out before he gets his upgrades, before he's got his stim and +1.
Yeah, AqueroN sharking around with these Vikings, maybe looking to get lucky with the Prism once again, but behind this NightPhoenix just going up into a 3rd, and We're just going to have to wait and see if the timing of AqueroN is going to be coming out across the map anytime soon.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Is he going to hit with that stim, or is he going to wait a little bit longer? Meanwhile, we see a couple of Stalkers dip into the main base, but they don't really get too much damage done. They chip away a little bit at the Cyclones, but weren't able to get any kills. Meanwhile, the scan does catch the Observer.
Yeah, AqueroN is searching down for that Observer, but it looks like the damage has been done in terms of the scouting at least. NightPhoenix does know roughly what's coming his way, has gotten a little look at the production, and will be able to kite this army as it comes out across the map.
Yeah, he's gonna have to try and slow this down as best he can, because the 2-base all-in, it's coming, Papi. There's no second engineering bay, there is no third TC, and I get on with 4 tanks. That may just be all he needs. The first couple of medevacs are finally out, and very similar to the first game, he's gonna be moving out with a double drop and then the main army through the center of the map.
Yeah, definitely a very strong play to go for here. If NightPhoenix can put this together, he should have some Stalkers out in the mid-map trying to find this drop and deal with it, but looks like AqueroN kind of faking it out. He's going to see if he can get us around here.
Yeah, the Stalkers are gonna blink back here. They're gonna be able to pick off a couple of Widow Mines that get on coming in from behind, but the movement from NightPhoenix is a little bit more unpredictable, and he's gonna be able to avoid this around.
Yeah, nicely done by NightPhoenix getting those Stalkers out of there. Very expensive units, quite important to get that done.
Yeah, he's actually going for a bit of a counterattack, and there's not much back at home to defend. There is a tank, but it just came out of that production, and yeah, he's gonna be able to slow this down, but AqueroN, he wants to dive on top of the Colossus.
Yeah, NightPhoenix takes out the tank, but on the other side of the map, looks like AqueroN looking to take out this Colossus. Not quite going to be able to get it yet, but I mean, the DPS of 4 Vikings, something to behold. Looks like 3 of them going to be going down, only 1 left. The tanks are here to help focus fire the Colossus, but ooh, a little bit disorganized with the bio here is AqueroN.
Oh my god, a little bit disorganized. 2 tanks are going to be going down. Meanwhile, the Stalkers across the map, they're getting a little bit of economic damage. They're wreaking a little bit of havoc. They're forcing the reinforcements to stay at home. Meanwhile, a triple drop goes straight into the main base.
They're forcing the recall, Puppy.
The tanks are exposed, and every single tank is going to be going down on the front line. So AqueroN is going to be losing a decent chunk of his army, but he's getting the main. He's getting the production.
Yeah, a little bit sloppy from AqueroN, but it doesn't matter too much because he is just powering his way through everything in the base of NightPhoenix. Manages to take out the whole Nexus and all of the probes, so that is huge damage for him there.
Yeah, he gets the Nexus, he gets the probes. He also killed the Robo, so no more Colossi can be produced. The bay is still there, so he just has to rebuild that production. He can get that back underway. But the worker counts are surprisingly even, and bearing in mind, NightPhoenix does have a 3rd Nexus.
Yeah, it looks like NightPhoenix is going to be prioritizing those gateways a little bit over the Robo, over the tech, just to make sure that he's getting that gateway count out as fast as he can. I mean, he is looking to be the defensive player here.
Yeah, exactly. All he has to do is saturate this 3rd base and survive. Can he do so? Because AqueroN, he's getting ready for the 2nd wave. He's regrouped with his army. The drops have come back home. He's rebuilt some tanks, and this time he's slipping in some Liberators.
I mean, where are the SCVs? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, where the boys? You know, they're being kept at home once again. Does he need them? There's only 2 Colossi to defend.
Yeah, probably not, but it would be a pretty sick boy pool.
It would be nice. It would be nice. You know, we like pulling boys. As already one of the Liberators is going to be going down. So decent chunk of that siege army is going to be taken out. The other one is looking a little bit exposed as well.
Oh, yeah, God. I don't like that there for NightPhoenix. Maybe just getting a little bit antsy about the Liberators, but throwing away so much supply to try to deal with them. And AqueroN is just being so cautious with his bio, doesn't want to lose it all to the Colossus here. Yeah,
exactly. Like, the Colossus are barely surviving, but with the Vikings, with the bio army, they just can't get close enough to these tanks. GG gets called. Good luck as well, as AqueroN takes game number 3 and the series.
Yeah, there we go. GG. AqueroN with a very crisp and clean. Actually, I don't think I want to say clean. They're pretty scrappy, but gets the 3-0 in convincing fashion.
You're like, he's so clean, Papi, and he's covered in mud.
yeah. But that's normal, so he's clean.
Yeah, you know, it's okay, Papi. It's his nature. He's Terran, you know. It's okay. But some really intense games, as you were saying, you know, even though it was a 3-0 from AqueroN, things got really messy and really close in a lot of these games. I love how NightPhoenix a lot of the time was correctly reading what AqueroN was doing. It's just getting caught off guard a couple of times. Like game number 1, NightPhoenix was winning. He was straight up ahead. If you remember, you know, after the CC was delayed by so much, after the Adepts were getting so much damage as well, economic damage, and even getting some Marines. But then the double drop comes in, and NightPhoenix just got pulled apart at the wrong moments, and suddenly AqueroN came back. You know, like a lot of these games could have gone either way.
Yeah, absolutely. They could have gone either way. So definitely some scrappy, exciting games from these two players, and always fun to watch that TvP. But next up, to see who will be awaiting AqueroN, who will be facing AqueroN in the finals, we do have a bit of a PvP matchup.
Let's go, Papi. I'm sure AqueroN is more than looking forward to another European Protoss. That may just be his forte, what he likes, what he enjoys. But which Protoss is it going to be? Because as you can see on the screen here, it is going to be a PvP between Art and Spats.